All right, let's talk some Lamar Jackson. Listen, Lamar did not have his best game by any means. You throw the ball to the other team 4 times. It's going to be hard to have your best game if you do that. So I want to talk about kind of what went wrong. I actually thought it was a very sporadic game, and really what I want to talk about is the interceptions themselves and what the issue was. Because as a whole, I didn't think it was like, a play-by-play bad game. Although, to be honest, there were some missed throws even without the 4 interceptions. So it was a fascinating game. I think for the Ravens, you're probably saying, hey, our MVP quarterback had a horrible game and we still won. That's pretty promising against a solid Browns team. Like, the Browns aren't terrible. So let's get into what went wrong and right for Lamar Jackson. All right, so let's start things off with this one. So what's going to happen here is it's a pretty simple idea. It's zone coverage that Cleveland is in, and basically the zone coverage guy they try to always hit against zone is going to be Mark Andrews, which makes sense. I mean, let's be honest, he's the guy who they try to hit in man as well. He's their best receiving option despite being a tight end. So the way this works is that for Lamar Jackson, you kind of know zone coverage is coming. Teams play zone against you frequently just because they want to make sure as many guys are looking at Lamar Jackson as possible. I get the logic behind it. And watch how when Lamar takes the snap, so he reads the coverage, that part's not too fancy. Mark Andrews is going to be open right here past the linebackers. It's not wide open though, and this is kind of the thing, is it's one of those things where it looks more open than it is, and it's tough. You could sit here and say, well, he has to learn this. He has to know this better. He has to make a better throw and a better read. I actually don't even fully disagree, but it also kind of goes to show this is the NFL, and these tight windows tend to be tight and can close in a hurry. Look, Lamar is going to throw this one. It gets batted up and eventually intercepted. So not a great pass. He tried to fit it through a window that he probably shouldn't have. I think that's fair to say. Mark Andrews did appear to be open though, so I get the logic behind it. It wasn't the best decision. He probably should have just kept that one in his pocket, or thrown it underneath and just thrown it into the ground and lived to see another play. We can then go over to this one. This one was just odd. That's the best way I would describe it. There was another interception that was kind of a similar thing where he's just trying to fit it through a tight window and it didn't work out. This one, a bit different. So the way this concept works is, again, it's designed to beat zone coverage. You have multiple players who are going to be running deeper routes, just to clear out the Cleveland players who are already in that area. You have Andrews kind of just run underneath as a curl route. If you hit him, this is a it's a second down and long, so you're trying to create a third down and manageable while also getting the ball into field goal range for Justin Tucker. And look, Lamar's going to take the snap, and this play works. I mean, you have Mark Andrews who is open right here. So this is good. This is what you should expect to happen, and everything should work out. The weird thing, though, is this just looks like a communication thing, where I think for whatever reason, Lamar was expecting Andrews to kind of cut towards the inside. Because it's not even like Andrews cut out, really. I mean, he just turns around, and Lamar is expecting him to move closer to the inside, which I just don't understand why, because there is a Cleveland player who can go towards the inside, not one who can go towards the outside. I don't know if Lamar just misread it, some sort of miscommunication, or maybe he just missed the throw. I don't know. But look, the throw is just nowhere close. Is that a missed throw? I have to imagine that's not what happened, just simply because, that's not a difficult throw to make. I feel like I've never seen Lamar miss one like that. So I think it was just kind of a miscommunication type thing. Not the best of plays for Lamar Jackson. But again, if it is a miscommunication, these things tend to work themselves out. It's just kind of one of those unfortunate breaks that goes against you. Now, this one was just a straight-up missed throw. That's what happened here. Kind of a bizarre play as well. So it's going to be a cover 2 zone, and Andrews is running a deep route, which typically you would say, okay, cover 2, it's already hard to get this deep stuff going. It's especially going to be, more difficult when it's not like you have a burner running this route like Hollywood Brown. You have a tight end who's obviously great, but not exactly someone you think of as a deep threat. Well, actually, this stuff can work, and this stuff down the field has worked for Baltimore, because one of the things you're doing is you're running play action, and what's worth mentioning is when you have a play action against a cover 2 zone, this actually means the safeties have to play towards the run a little bit more than they would if it was just cover 1. In a cover 1 play, okay, you have a deep safety, and then everyone else is the guys who stop the run. In cover 2, though, it's now a numbers disadvantage for you, so safeties will have to often crash down and make a play. So running a play action against cover 2 can work. And with Mark Andrews, who's going to run over the middle, he's a guy who, even if he doesn't have a ton of separation, in a one-on-one matchup, he can win that matchup. And watch, you're going to see, like, listen, Andrews can still move, and he has a pretty good situation right here. The play action worked, gets the safety out of position, so he's your best receiver. Take a shot down the field. This is a good decision from Lamar Jackson to try and make the throw. No one's going to critique the decision whatsoever. It is fair to critique this throw. I mean, look, it's just a bit behind. Not even horribly behind. Like, honestly, we've seen those get pass interference calls a lot this season. This time, though, instead of that, it ends up being an interception. It was just kind of a crazy interception. Like, it was a weird play. Typically, that does not end in an interception, but it was a missed throw, and that's kind of a backbreaker, right? You hit that throw, and you get the ball inside the 15. You have, big chunk play instead, bit underthrown, and it gets the ball to the other team. So, like I keep saying, it wasn't Lamar's best game. I don't think that this says anything about Lamar as a player, because I already think Lamar is great. I'm not going to let one game change my opinion on that, but this clearly was not his best game. However, even in this awful game, he still showed some moments of like, oh yeah, he's Lamar Jackson. Like this one, you're going to see some quick pressure off the edge right here on both sides, really. So that's typically a situation where every quarterback struggles. Look, so pressure off the edge. Lamar, he spotted that there was, an unblocked man. He noticed that immediately, so he can shot. That's the guy on the left. The issue is that to his right tackle just wasn't able to make this block here. So now you have two guys, and I just think that basically no quarterback finds a way to get out of this. However, again, watch the shiftiness. I mean, watch him just be able to avoid one tackle. And now at this point, I was personally thinking, okay, now he's going to try and run, get to, his left, see if he can outrun the edge rusher who's currently just getting up, which he probably would be able to do, and just see what happens. However, Lamar looks downfield and notices that Andrews is wide open. So he's going to take this chance. But the issue is, given all the pressure, he's currently at his own, 34-yard line on this play and has to get it into the end zone. He's gone back, over 20 yards at this point through all this scrambling and everything. However, he still is able to off balance make this throw. You could argue it's a bit low. That would be an insane nitpick because of all the positive that he showed on that play. Just a tremendous play from Lamar Jackson, and really good stuff by him and by Mark Andrews too. Hey, way to get open and make the grab. Good stuff all around. So yeah, I mean, listen, not Lamar's best day. Like, no one's going to argue the contrary. His passer rating is 46.5 of that game, which is atrocious. That's just a really bad passer rating if you're into that kind of thing. Definitely the turnovers have been up in terms of actual interceptions, which again, maybe not the best stat. There can be some misleading stuff here, but I mean, he has 12 interceptions this year, and 18 of them in his first 3 years, 2.5, whatever. So he needs to improve on that a little bit. But like I said, I think this is more of just a fluke than I would really be willing to say was a bad game by him. I need to see more of these types of games for me to be concerned about his gameplay. And like I said, he still had some of those good flashes. So that's what I think about Lamar. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.